Thank you so much for joining us for another edition of All Angles. I'm Dion Jax Miller. Well, the Royals are visiting. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge are here in Jamaica. They leave tomorrow, and they're here to celebrate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. This visit, of course, comes ahead of Jamaica's 60th anniversary of political independence, and also a lively discussion as whether Jamaica should remove the Queen of England as our own head of state. So we're going to be talking about all those issues on All Angles. We invite you, as always, to join in. Remember, you can tweet us. Our hashtag is TVJ All Angles, and also you can WhatsApp us 3810072. That's 876-3810072. Give us your first name, give us your general location. Before we start discussion with our guests, though, we're going to be hearing from Professor Vereen Shepherd, Dr. Maziki Thame, also reparations advocate Andrew Blair, as well as Omar Bryan from the Center for Reparations Research. Before we bring in all of them, though, our production assistant, Javon Gordon, has been looking at what's been happening on the streets with the arrival of the Royals.
The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, Prince William and Kate, are here in Jamaica on a 3-day visit to celebrate the 70th anniversary or the Platinum Jubilee of the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. News of the visit sparked a protest on Tuesday organized by the Advocates Network. I was on the scene of the protest at the British High Commission asking protesters the importance of their demonstration. It is windy, there's a low police turnout, and behind me are the voices of members who are protesting against the arrival of the Royals. They're asking for an apology and reparations from the British monarchy. The placards that are inside are reparations no. They're asking for apology, say you're sorry. And no, we're going to ask them why they're against the arrival of the Royals on the 70th anniversary or the Platinum Jubilee for the Queen of England.
Kicking the Queen and her people out of our country, dumping the Governor General and all these people, all these colonial trappings, we need to get rid of them. And at this time, I see my Prime Minister going to England to go and accept the Queen's Council Award. I can't tell you how disgusted and ashamed I was to see that man do that, you know? And that is the reason why I'm here today, to condemn those of us black people who refuse to stand up for our rights, who refuse to denounce European colonization, who refuse to come from under this shackle of slavery.
I am here to show my displeasure at the presence of our previous enslavers coming here and want a hero's welcome.
After 400 years of a transatlantic slave trade that's demonized African people, people of black complexion, not even a level of decency and respect to say, I'm sorry.
You make it sound so nice, like them just come visit, like them just come from foreign and bring me Irish Spring. This visit is a continuation of like the British occupation of the entire Caribbean, or much of the Caribbean, and the continued disrespect of Jamaica's independence from Britain.
An apology is an understatement. I'm not asking them for no apology, because these people, what they did, don't show you that there are people who are willing to apologize. It's like, come on. They are not about apologizing. They are about carrying on their monarch, carrying on their legacy as the slave masters that they are. It's for us now as Jamaicans to stand up and say, we do not want to be a subject of you guys anymore.
But some who were not a part of the protest had different views.
I feel really good about it because Jamaica as a country was brought about through the English. That's hence the reason we're an English-speaking country. So it's not a bad thing. It's neither here or there for me.
We talk about repatriation, and the British owes us. I don't know how somebody can be owing you after 60 years. And for us to be sitting down and talking about repatriation is nonsense.
While some agreed.
What they do for me? They matter nothing for me. Some of the business about them.
I think it's just neither here nor there.
Why do you think it's neither here nor here?
Because I don't see any direct impact, whether economic, social, or political, coming from it.
Javon Gordon reporting for All Angles.
that, Javon. And just a reminder, our guest for the program, we have Omar Ryan. He's administrator for the Center for Reparations Research. Its director, Professor Vereen Shepherd, also with us. And of course, Prof. Shepherd has so many other hats, including her international hats as well. Andrew Blair with us, reparations advocate, as well as Dr. Maziki Thame, senior lecturer at the University of the West Indies, Mona campus. So, Prof. Shepherd, let me start with you. I'm almost afraid to ask you this question, but for you, what's the significance, if there is, of the royal visit at this time?
I don't see a lot of significance to it, frankly. My view is that as far as they are concerned, Jamaica belongs to them and they can visit whenever they wish. So it's just monarchical people coming to their territory. This is because otherwise somebody would have had to invite them. So either they were invited or they decided to come and visit their territory, because we have made Jamaica look like that this week.
Tell me what you mean by that.
The images are not so pretty as far as I'm concerned. I saw some little children at an institution in St. Andrew waving a flag, lots of flags that are not our flags. That to me is the height of disrespect. And to me, it's a sad day in Jamaican history when our little ones who were trying to educate away from a colonial education would stand and greet people with a flag of a country that is not. That's not our flag. Why weren't they given Jamaican flags if they had to wave a flag? So Jamaica is still a colonial space despite independence. Our attitudes have shown, many of our attitudes are pro-colonial, and therefore I think it's in keeping with that members of the royal family feel comfortable coming to Jamaica because they realize that for the most part, they'll get a welcome.
Let me bring in Dr. Thame. Dr. Thame, for you, especially with the visit, of course, as I mentioned, coming at the kind of nexus of, on the one hand, the Queen's 70th anniversary celebrations and Jamaica's pending 60th anniversary celebrations. How do you see it?
Well, personally, I'm indifferent to their visit. I would not necessarily notice the royals. But there is, a certain amount of despair that I feel in seeing the responses of the public, in seeing how it is that the lack of understanding of the significance of history in the present, the fact that we can't understand where Jamaica is presently without understanding the fact that these people trafficked Africans across the Atlantic, worked them, many of them to death, profited, and in the process made us poor and freed us into an emancipation that was marked by that poverty, imposed violence against us or continue to do so in the period of colonialism, and then for an independent people to say that they see no point in us making demands for reparatory justice, it gives me cause to despair.
Andrew Blair, let me bring you in. Your thoughts on the visit.
If I agree with Prof. Shepherd, it's very sad is either somebody invited them or they felt comfortable enough to come by and visit their property and their territory. So kind of indifferent in the sense that after all this time and coming up over 60th independence, it seemed very backward at this point to have the monarch visit us and we welcome them in the manner in which we have.
But could we do anything other? Could we do anything other than welcome them?
That's what I'm saying earlier, is either somebody invited them or they felt comfortably enough that they own the place that they could come visit as they have done in the past historically. because the visit by the monarch is nothing new. However, the timing of that's what's questionable. Is either someone invited them or they still felt comfortable that they have enough control and enough influence on the space that even if they just show up, they would get a warm welcome.
Let me bring it. Omar Ryan, let me bring you in before the break as well, because some of the footage we've seen, some of the videos we've seen, and Prof made mention of it there, we've seen crowds turning out to greet the royals, for instance, in Trench Town, standing up behind fences to you know, shake hands and so on. Is that something to be concerned about, or is that just natural in a country in which, after all, the Queen does remain our head of state?
I think it is something that we should be concerned about as a country, and particularly so given the uncomfortable history we've had with the British Empire, so to speak, that dates back to hundreds of years, from 1655. And they gave us what you call some kind of independence in 1962, with the Queen still the head of state of Jamaica. And when you look at the context of what the British has done to Jamaica and Caribbean, African people in particular, it to me is a shame that we can line the street to welcome literally our slave masters. So I think it's really a cause for concern when we can have our poor Black people who are suffering. You have them clean up the community to welcome royals, but you don't clean up the community for themselves. You don't fix roads for the people, but at the same time, roads are being fixed to welcome the royals. And have our people, and I say Rastafarian people, lined up drumming, which to me is a cause for concern. And to me, it's like the Rastafarian community needs to check itself, because there should be no Rastafari people in Trenchtown and other places welcoming the royal family. To me, that is anti-Rastafari.
Why is that?
Because, as you know, the Rastafari community, you know, dating back to 1930, we have been like, Nyabinghi itself, the very meaning of Nyabinghi is like bound with white and Black oppressors. And the very Queen, when you go to Rastafari communities and events, the very Queen is chanted on, you know? So when you see Rastafarians now like welcoming the grandson or her grandson and his wife, to me it's a cause for concern in the Pan-African and Rastafari community.
Hold that thought for me, Omar Ryan. I'm going to our first break. Lots to pick up on when we come back. And remember as well, we want you to weigh in, so you can WhatsApp me. It's 3810072, 3810072, or tweet us using the hashtag TVJ All Angles. Soon come.